crew. Hello, beautiful souls, spiritual seekers. Welcome to the Spiritual Social. I'm Lexi, your local light worker. I'm a tarot reader and an astrologer. But today I thought I would give you a very special type of reading, which can veer a little bit on the creepy side because we are going to be divinating with the help of bones. I just thought that since I'm filming this around the time of Halloween in 2022 in the month of October, this would be the perfect thing to do around this period that can be considered a little bit spooky, as the darkness tends to overlap and increasingly become more felt in the northern hemisphere. I just thought that this would be a wonderful kind of energy to tap into the secrets that lie in the world beyond the veil. So, as you guys know, whenever I do a special type of reading, whether I use wine or smoke, whether I use rose petals, I often like to dedicate the reading to a specific god or a goddess, and I like to give them an offering. I like to tell you guys a little bit about the gods I am invoking, and this reading is no different. So I have here two images from Fabio Listrani's Santa Muerte Oracle. I have two choices as well for you guys, but first let me tell you a little bit about the gods of the underworld in Aztec mythology. So we have an image here of Mictlantecutli, and he is considered to be the god of the Aztec underworld, a deity that presides over the bones of the dead. And then we have here his wife, his consort, Mictecacihuatl. Let me tell you a little thing about these deities before we invoke them and we give them an offering. So, Mictlantecutli, according to Fabio Listrani's booklet, is the king of the dead and the afterlife. He's the ruler of the deepest part of the underworld. Along with his wife, Mictecacihuatl, he forms the binary and complementary opposition of disaggregation of bodies and matter. We see him devouring a body for rupture, and fading out are the starting point for any successive work of creation or regeneration. He is the alchemic solve, or to separate, the analysis before synthesis, the phoenix that dies and turns to ashes before rebirth. So, if Mictlantecutli appeared before you today, any day, the moment you stumble upon this through the law of serendipity, he is here to remind you that it is time to look at your life situation from a more in-depth point of view, to analyze the circumstances before you begin putting the pieces back together in any given situation. So, beautiful energy here with Mictlantecutli. And now we have Mictecacihuatl. She is the queen of the dead and of the afterlife. Responsible for memory as a whole and individual memories, she represents the principle of synthesis and aggregation of bodies and matter, complementary to that of her husband Mictlantecutli. She is the alchemic coagula, to join together, a continuation on a lower level of the concept of synthesis expressed by the feminine card. In fact, we see her near some recently remolded bodies, devouring stars during the day, because just as life cannot exist without death, day cannot exist without night. I just find it so beautifully poetic, even if it's quite in a dark way, the idea that she's the goddess of the underworld and she spends most of the time devouring stars. There's something quite sweet and romantic about that image. So, if Mictecacihuatl appeared in front of you today, any day, again, through the law of serendipity, the moment when you stumble upon this clip, she is here to remind you that the study and analysis you have done is sufficient and the time has come to put them to work, enacting your own synthesis, right? So we have solve, to separate, coagula, to bind, synthesis, to put together, and analysis, to break into parts, actually analyze. To think things through, to break them into the smaller bits of their initial whole. To these two gods of the Aztec underworld, I give today the small offering of a little bit of hot chocolate with milk, with chili and cinnamon, and I'm going to put it over here and drink it in their honor at the end of the ritual. I have here for you guys a choice between two options. I just thought that in this way, maybe the messages that might come across from the bones are actually going to be a little bit more specific to your situation rather than doing a general collective reading. So I have here for group 1, the principle of darkness. You see this complete dark energy. And how gorgeous darkness is, because it tends to hold so much light on top of it. It tends to be the foundation of all the other colors. And then for group 2, we have the principle of light. Radiating, fuming. Wow, it's gorgeous. So whether you are more of a disciple of the dark in this period or a disciple of the light, you need to keep in mind that as human beings, we contain both. We are both evil and good. We are both light and shadow. So nobody is exempt from these two polarities. We live in a very dual and oppositional reality. And the fun in life and the most exciting part of it is figuring out ways how we can work with both of them. As a light worker myself, I deal with shadows on a daily basis. I deal with uncomfortable emotions. I deal with negativity, with curses, with spells, with all sorts of things. But it is my job and my duty to the collective, to the people that I work with, to transform negative energies into something positive. Yeah? So, all this being said, I am going to be using my Ouija board. I have it over here. And I just thought it would be wonderful to throw the bones on it and see on which letters, numbers, maybe indications, direction. Will they go towards the south, the north, maybe the east, maybe the west, maybe they'll fall on the maybe, on the rephrase the question. There's a variety of different ways in which you guys can actually conduct bone divinations or osteomancy, not to be confused with oneomancy, which is a form of divination where you can use wine. I have created a separate video on this. You can find it over here, linked in my description box as well, if you want to compare the two types of reading. In that specific reading, I actually invoke the god Bacchus or Dionysus to preside over that specific reading. In this one, we are invoking the two Aztec gods, the couple that rules over the underworld, Mictlan. I also need to tell you as well that there is another specific form of bone divination that is combined with charms and with all sorts of found objects. This is called cleromancy, and some people also refer to it in a more popular way as magpie oracle reading or the crow's oracle reading, mostly because magpies and crows like to collect little bits and bobs and objects and put them together, much like some of those divinatory readings are. In this one, I want to keep it pure. I want to keep it simple. I'm only going to be using a selection of chicken bones, which I have boiled until all of the meaty parts have actually died down. And then I have washed them with detergent so that we get these really gorgeous, almost like ivory-like indentations on the bones, because the shape, form, the location, and the place where these bones are going to fall are going to tell me a lot about what is coming up in your life, what is the energy, what are the characters that will mean a lot to you in the coming period. So I'm leaving this reading open. I will see whatever messages come through. I don't want to force it too much. I want to keep it as light and expansive as possible. So if you've made your choice right now, I think that this is most of the things that I had to say. Keep in mind that there are a variety of different videos out there that you can watch in order to figure out how to divinate. Osteomancy is something that you can make a practice of your own. I know, for example, that some readers don't like to use chicken bones because they think that chicken bones bring bad luck. I don't really care about that. I think that it's one of the most common form of bones that we have around. So as such, it pertains very well to collective energy. But you know, everybody has their preferences, so feel free to develop your own if you're watching this just to get some sort of insight into how you can do this type of reading. I'm going to link some clips down below which have helped me as well when I was doing research as to how I can use my intuition in combination with other forms of readings. But yeah, all this being said, I don't want to keep you waiting too long. I know you're here to watch a bone reading, so let's get into it. Group 1, hello. So this is for those of you that are disciples of the dark in this period. Welcome to your reading. I do want to read you the additional message from the Santa Muerte Oracle in case you have chosen this card. So the darkness card pertains to the occult center of the creative and inspiring will of the universe. This is a card that has yet to be created. This is an energy that is infinite. It has no form and is not differentiated. This card represents what there was before the Big Bang, simultaneously void and full, the end and the beginning, potential and latency. All is concentrated in a single point, waiting to receive the primordial impulse to manifest itself. For the ascetic or the magus, it represents the highest peak attainable through meditation, a state of total vacuousness, a silence that can make the observer aware of the road to awakening. So there's nothing spooky or creepy necessarily if you have chosen this card. You might be here just as a curiosity. You might not have chosen this card. But I am here to let you know that the appearance of this energy in your life at the moment is here to remind you that you need to take a moment's pause, meditate or study, as you need to understand what form to give to your energy and where to apply your energy. Okay, and with this wonderful message, let's begin. Let's throw the bones on the table on my Ouija board, and under the guidance of Mictecaccihuatl and Mictlantecutli, the Aztec gods of the underworld, which we summon now with utmost respect, please come through and guide my hands, guide my intuition so that I can read for group 1, the disciples of darkness, any messages that are serving their highest good in this period of transition. Thank you so much. We honor you. So, okay, let's begin. I see that there are some things that need to be reconsidered in your life. I am wondering whether in this case you're redoing some things, maybe correcting some mistakes. You might be rereading some chapters, some pieces of work. You might need to redo some homework. You might... Oh, I burned myself. Okay, so that's interesting. You could be playing with fire. Some of you might have burned yourself. You might have been playing with fire. There is an energy here of somebody that likes to take risks, is quite prone to engaging themselves in dangerous activities. The god Pluto, the god that actually rules the Greco-Roman underworld, also known as Hades, is around you at the moment. So I think that you were drawn towards this card of the darkness because maybe you work with Plutonic energy. I see that you are in two minds about a situation with somebody in your life. You're not decided. You're also trying to push a person away because you want to protect yourself. I see that these two bones sitting on top of each other is the universal witchcraft symbol of protection, right? So very clearly you are trying to push somebody away. You're keeping the connection in a state of maybe, I'm not sure, I'll get back to you on that, because you are getting some mixed messages. You're picking up on some red signals from that person. There is somebody else as well that could be trying to either interfere with this connection and with your person's energy, or you already have somebody else in mind. You have two people that you're thinking of. One of them you want to protect yourself from. The other one you're still keeping an open mind towards. Some of you are in love with somebody that it feels impossible to be with them. I feel that this person could have a child or a dependent, maybe a sick relative, somebody that they need to take care of, and they cannot actually let this person go. I feel that because these bones have fallen on top of the leaves at the bottom of the tree of life, this is a very long-term, long-lasting bond, almost like a soul bond, somebody that has had to live with this individual for a very long time. So it could be a married person, a person with children that could be already of puberty age, and they cannot just let go of their family to be with you, but the attraction is undeniable. This is kind of like the energy of David extending his hand to reach out to God. There is this feeling of, I want to connect with somebody that kind of speaks to my soul, but unfortunately, I feel that this is a case of a star-crossed lovers kind of energy. Did I say David? I meant Adam. Adam trying to reach out to God in the famous painting. Maybe this person's name is David in certain cases. Wow, that was strange. I see here a hand like gripping. To me, this bone looks like a hand that is trying to like form into like a very tight fist, but a fist that is not used in order to prepare to punch somebody, a fist that we make when we are holding on to something and we don't want to let it go. You don't want to let go of something, and these bones have fallen next to the farewell area. So you might have lost somebody, a connection could have ended, somebody died in your life, they departed, and you are holding on so tightly to their memory, you're holding on to the connection that you had with them. You have to unclench the fist and release the energy. You have to let it go. Some of you that this message strongly resonates with, you have placements in Capricorn in your chart, Venus in Capricorn, Moon in Capricorn especially, or Sun in Capricorn. You find it so hard to let go of the past, of that which has already fulfilled its time, but it's meant for your own healing. I see honey pouring into your life the moment when you actually acknowledge that this is over, it's done with, and I can finally let this energy go, because something else wants to move into your life, but you're so stubborn about what has already gone. Keep in mind that if you keep holding on to it, you will only live with the ghosts of the past. And maybe for Halloween, when the time is set to part the veil between the worlds, maybe that will be an ideal time for you to actually surrender something to the dead, surrender it to the gods of the underworld. I hear that alarm outside, and I feel it's the alarm of an ambulance and not of a police car. So there is some help. You might need some help, or somebody in your life needs some sort of urgent help from you. I see two protection symbols here. So again, one of them is on the letters W, X, Y, and Z. Also a little bit on V. So maybe you're thinking of a person whose name begins with these letters, or maybe that's you. Maybe you have a name that begins with these letters: V, W, X, Y, and Z. I also see that in case in the situation that we began with at the moment that I started analyzing with the rephrase, redoing, where I actually burned myself, you could be dealing with a fire sign, a very passionate, impulsive, even a little bit aggressive fire sign whose name begins with P or Q. This could be Quentin, Paul, Peter, Pamela, maybe even Clarice, but written with a Q. I also see here the letters M, L, K. We have here J and Y. Sorry, I moved the bone. There are some bones that have fallen outside of the Ouija board. So there is something coming at you in the next 3 weeks, 3 days, maximum of 3 months. Most likely it is something that is coming at you quite soon. Some information that you are not aware of. This is not going to be something heavy. The bones are light. One of these pieces of information is going to weigh more heavily on your shoulders than the other two. But I feel like you need this kind of information to make some really important decisions. Anything else? Let's throw the other bones. You could be dealing with a small person, a person that could be either smaller in age than you, or a child whose name begins with the letter S or T. I see here a trip towards the north, which will make you feel quite lighthearted. We have a bone that fell here in the north position. I feel that the majority of the tension is concentrated around the tree of life, around the plants in the middle of the tree of life. And for you, group 1, there is such a need to let go of something heavy that has been weighing you so strongly, weighing your soul down, bringing you so low. I feel like you are the opposite of the kind of person that would get an advice to get more grounded. You need to become more lighthearted. You need to push your energy a little bit upwards towards the north, because you see how much tension the bones are packing in this specific region. You could also be having a lot of tension in your stomach, in your pelvic region. So that would be somewhere like around your sacral chakra, the space right beneath your stomach and right on top of your sexual organs. That is usually the space ruled midway by Libra, and then a portion of it ruled by the sign of Scorpio. So make sure that you're eating well, make sure that you're eliminating gases from your body, make sure that your sexual organs are in order, and that you get a health checkup. It's so important at the moment to process something. You could be having blocks in that region because you find it so hard to let go of something that has already consumed its energy in your life. A relationship might need to leave you, a job situation you might need to let go of, an ancestor, a relative, somebody that has departed and you don't want to let this person go. Let them go. It will free up your energy, and they will still continue to live in your heart, in your mind, as a beautiful memory. But you have to stop clinging to the energy, to the negativity of the loss, in order to allow this energy to transform into something from which you can extract wisdom and pleasure. Yeah? Allow this energy to change. That's why you have this block around Scorpio and Libra. A relationship that needs to change. Allow it to pass through. Allow it to happen. God bless. So may it be. Anything else? Wow. This was so powerful. I felt like I was channeling so strongly. I do apologize for some of the words I have chosen and maybe my weird grammar or syntax, but I felt like I was in a channeling flow. Wow, this reading felt much more guided than I thought I would be able to create it today for you. So thank you so much for listening. I hope you found this inspiring. Let me know down in the comments, what do you think of invoking as the gods in this reading? Which kind of gods would you like to invoke for such a ritual? Are you using osteomancy? Would you like to try it out? What kind of bones would you like to try it out with? Thank you so much for listening, group 1. God bless, and may you make your life lighter and drop this heavy load from your heart. I'm sending you on your way. Bye. Hello, group 2. This is for those of you that are disciples of light. You were drawn towards this card. Welcome. I'm so happy to have you here for a very special bone divination osteomancy reading. I hope you haven't skipped over the introduction, because I tell you a little bit about the gods here in the background. Mictecasihuatl and Mictlantecutli, the gods which I, with a lot of respect and with honorable intentions, invoke in this reading today, so that they may guide me regarding the messages that I will see in the bones for you. So before I actually throw the bones and start reading them, I want to get in touch with the energy of this card. So I will read you from Fabio Listrani's Santa Muerte Oracle, the deeper meaning of this energy. So, the first world of emanations comes to an end with this card. This card represents the entrance point through which creation can manifest itself in the world. It encompasses potential impurity without limitations of shape, capable of illuminating and feeding anything it comes into contact with, like a sun, with generosity and vitality. So, if this card appeared to you, the advice of the dead is that a source of pure energy feeds and lights your journey. Proceed in your projects without hesitation, because any shadow will be dispelled from your life at the moment. Beautiful. So keep in mind that we are both light and shadow. We contain both of these energies, but at the moment it seems like you're vibing really strongly with the light side. Now, I summon the Aztec gods of the underworld to guide my channeled messages as I interpret the bones for group 2. Thank you so much. Here are the bones for group 2. Group 2 with messages, with energies. Do we have? Okay, completely different energy. I see very strongly that the bones are in the upper part of my Ouija board, and there is a lot of energy surrounding, yes, So it seems like you are getting so many thumbs up, not only energetically from the card you have chosen, which seems to be giving you the deeper message of go ahead with your projects, but you will receive a yes, a confirmation if you're applying for a job, if you're proposing something to somebody, if you want to start something in this period. I would urge you to use the energy of the next new moon from the moment when you see this reading. The actual next new moon from the moment when I'm filming this will be the new moon Scorpio eclipse on the 25th of October. But if you're watching this in the future through the law of serendipity, you just happen to stumble upon this reading, then use the next corresponding new moon from the moment when you watch this reading to start something. You will have such a wonderful energy pushing you forward with your project. I see as well the concentration of bones around the numbers 5, 6, 7. These are your lucky numbers in this period. I also see that 1 has been touched and the letters M and L. There is some sort of decision that is firmly coming into your life. I see that there is a large, chunky, heavy bone cutting through maybe. So there will be no more doubt in your life. You will know for sure whom you want, what you want to do, and I feel that somebody else will change their mind regarding you as well. So if this is energy that was not coming from you but was coming from the external environment, from another person, this person will finally make a decision regarding their relationship with you. It can be a boss that decides to hire you. It can be a relative that decides to forgive you. It can be a romantic partner that decides to choose you. Now, I'm mentioning a variety of different scenarios because I intentionally left this reading open since it's the first one I am doing. I wanted to see what messages come through. There is something happening here in parallel. You have no idea, but judging by these 2 bones, you are minding your own business, living your life, and there is somebody else doing something in the background that will ultimately benefit you. Because I see that this bone is crossing over the sun. So there is somebody here that is trying to... I'm getting 2 messages. In some cases, your light and your identity is so strong and confident and contagious that somebody's trying to copy you, imitate you, be like you. And in other cases, I feel like this has better intentions, better connotations, in the sense that there is a person that is trying to support you from the outskirts. You have the support of a hidden protector. You're not aware of this. It's kind of like 12th house energy. Angels, ancestors, people conspiring in the darkness to help you. Hidden support, hidden good luck, messages that come to you and you wonder, hey, how did this happen? Somebody that puts in a good word for you and suddenly you get a bank loan. Suddenly you get to live in a really beautiful place because they finally gave you the recommendation that you needed. Or you get a really good grade. All of a sudden you were struggling. You were trying to maybe appeal, but you're getting the result that you wanted because somebody favors you. They put in a good word for you. They support you. They protect you. Contrary to group 1, where we saw a lot of protection energies, I see here just one kind of protection symbol, but it's already in the process of changing. You're going to let your guard down. And I see very strongly that this might happen with somebody whose name begins with N, O, P, and Q, because we had the bones over here. I also feel that for some reason, NOP kind of makes me think of nope, right? So when you say nope, okay, I'm getting another message that some of you really like Leslie Nope, the character in Parks and Recreations, the leading character. And for others of you, you are not going to manifest the bad luck that you're thinking of. So there's no need for you to protect yourself because nothing bad shall harm you in this period, okay? Spirit is literally saying, nope, you're okay, you're protected. You don't need to put on a defensive shell. You don't need to hide in this period. Go and be this light because people support you. I feel like The direction of north is really favorable for you. I also feel like east, northeast specifically, is really, really good for you. So if you're thinking of traveling in this period, travel to a country that is northeast from the place where you live, okay? It's really important for you. Group 2, you're not going to believe it, but I had to stop your reading because I just received a phone call regarding the fact that I won a sum of money. So I have the feeling that something impossibly filled with good luck is coming into your life. It might not be like a phenomenal win or something that will make you an overnight millionaire, but you're going to win something that you randomly participated in, or you might actually get a scholarship, a paid internship, something of this nature. A sum of money will be returned to you. It could even be that instead of money, you might be getting a valuable object in return, or you might be getting some sort of inheritance, maybe a prized possession that has been handed down in your family on your ancestral line. So I cannot tell you how positive your energy is and how amazing this energy is. And I have here 3 more bones. So I'm going to pick these up and just randomly like throw them down. See where they fall. They fell outside. One of them fell down and the other 2 fell outside. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. I have 11 bones that are outside of the space of the Ouija board. So these are external circumstances, external events, and because they are the Grandmaster number 11 of manifestation, I feel that you're going to get a lot of people that are going to support your goals. They will support your dreams. It's almost as if you keep attracting the right people at the right time in your life in order to help you make wise decisions as to how you can progress and move forward. There might still be a sense of fear, a sense of, am I really doing the right thing? Can I actually go with this, with the flow of these wonderful changes, these wonderful good luck that is coming in my life? And the question is, well, the answer more like it is yes, yes, yes. I cannot help but notice when I was in the middle of saying that, I cannot help but notice how the number of bones that are external to the Ouija board is also the number here that shows the goddess Mictecaccihuatl, the goddess that binds things, that binds souls once they have been disincarnated by Mictlantecutli. So he separates the flesh from the bone and she binds the spirit in the underworld to a new incarnation, to a new karma. So I see here that you're going to be bound to new relationships as you're engaging in these projects. In spite of the fact that there are many interruptions, there could be a lot of chaos around you, good luck is flowing into your life. So ride this wave, baby. I feel like the bones are incredibly positive in your reading, and you can't really see me, but I'm also smiling a lot in your reading. So in spite of the obstacles, in spite of the interruptions, in spite of the chaos around you, you have the green light to go ahead with your projects, with your relationship, with your studies, with a relocation. You will win things along the way that will help you in the achievement of this big goal that you want to bring forth. So don't give up and don't be discouraged. I feel that this is the overwhelming message of the Aztec gods of the underworld and the bones that I have here before me. I hope you have enjoyed this bone divination reading. It's the first time when I do something of this kind. Let me know down in the comments below. Would you do this kind of a reading? Would you use a different type of bone? Maybe instead of chicken bones, you might use other animal bones, but please make sure that you source them from a natural place and not that you exploit animals in the making of these bones. Would you invoke other kinds of deities? I know, for example, that there is also the bone god Osius that you can invoke as well for such rituals. So let me know down in the comments. I really hope this has helped. Wonderful energy coming your way, so make sure that you take advantage of it. God bless and enjoy the holidays. Bye.